Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam here, and we're inside because it's back to the intense heat outside. We've got a nice fan blowing on us here, and we're going to try to dive into the pages of the Bhagavatam.
Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 46. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 46. My dear King of the 9 doors, 5 led toward the eastern side, 1 led toward the northern side, 1 led toward the southern side, and 2 led toward the western side. I shall try to give the names of these different doors. Purport. Of the 7 doors on the surface, namely the 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth, 5 look forward, and these are described as the doors facing the eastern side. Since looking forward means seeing the sun, these are described as the eastern gates, for the sun rises in the east. The gate on the northern side and the gate on the southern side represent the 2 ears, and the 2 gates facing the western side represent the rectum and the genitals. All the doors and gates are described below. Nothing to add.
It says the gate on the northern side and the gate on the southern side. Oh, okay. Let's see. Facing 2 gates facing the western side. So east is that way, west is that way, north and south that way and that way. And yeah, I don't understand how the genital is also considered on the western side. And in the verse it says 1 led to the southern side, 1 led to the northern side, but that's right, 1 led there. 5 led to the eastern side, 2 eyes, 2 nose, 1 mouth, north and south. 2 led to the western side. So I guess west because they're going that way. Okay. Nothing to add?
No.
I'm just trying to figure it out, man, you know. So you gotta do. You gotta read the Bhagavatam and be like, what is being said here?
Yeah.
Text 47. The 2 gates named Kadyota and Avirmukhi were situated facing the eastern side, but they were constructed in one place. Through those 2 gates, the king used to go to the city of Vibrajita, accompanied by a friend whose name was Duman. Purport. The 2 names Kadyota and Avirmukhi mean glowing worm and torchlight. Okay. This indicates that of the 2 eyes, the left eye is less powerful in its ability to see. Although both eyes are constructed in one place, one is stronger than the other in the power to see. The king, or the living entity, uses these 2 gates to see things properly, but he cannot see unless accompanied by a friend whose name is Juman. This friend is the sun. Although the 2 eyes are situated in one place, they have no power to see without the sunlight. Vibrajitam janapadam. If one wants to see something very clearly, vibrajitam, he must see it with 2 eyes and the assistance of his friend, the sunlight. Within this body, everyone is a king because he uses his different gates according to his own will. Although he is very much proud of his power to see or hear, he is nonetheless dependent on the assistance of nature. Is that the end? Yeah. So just very interesting that, these things are being broken down in such a simple way. It's so thoughtful and insightful, and it's sort of nothing like I was taught in school or any contemplation around these types of things, looking at the body with certain gates, facing east, and then, this idea of, I used to go to the city of Vibrajita, and Vibrajita, if one wants to see something very clearly, so it used to be, if I want to be clear about what I'm seeing, then I have to use these two eyes, but I need the help of something from nature, which is also the sun. So again, another thing we don't really learn about how, well, we might learn how we're dependent on like the sun and different astrological bodies, the moon or the ocean, different things. But mostly it's, at least when I was growing up, it's mostly kind of around exploitation of these things, rather than having or developing a cooperative relationship or understanding what Prabhupada says at the beginning, how we're very much proud to be able to see and hear of our own accord, but we can't do that. We're useless unless we have assistance from nature, from the world around us. So yeah, again, we can easily become so proud of pauper is proud of his penny. We can become so proud, but actually we are so dependent on so many things around us. A few thoughts.
Text 48. Similarly, in the east there were two sets of gates named Nalini and Nalini, and these were also constructed in one place. Through these gates the king, accompanied by a friend named Avaduta, used to go to the city of Suraba. Purport. The two gates named Nalini and Nalini are the two nostrils. The living entity enjoys these two gates with the help of different avadutas or ears, which constitute the breathing process. Through these gates, the living entity goes to the town of Saurabha or aroma. In other words, the nostrils, with the help of their friend the ear, enjoy various aromas in the material world. Nalini and Nalini are the pipes of the nostrils through which one inhales and exhales, enjoying the aroma of sense pleasure. I've got nothing to say.
Okay. I thought it was interesting. We just got a message from someone mentioning someone named Nalini, and we were like, oh, who's that? Of course we know the wonderful Nalini in London, who lives in the Morden area, but now we're reading about Nalini here, and it's Nalini, and Nalini. Yeah, so it's so subtly different. Again, such a subtle thing in the Sanskrit language. Just a little line over one letter changes it and changes the meaning. And yeah, we don't often think about the nostrils, but how often do we like when I came home today and Bob was cooking, and even outside in the hallway I was like, oh, lunch will be ready. And of course...
It's not quite right.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Well, no, I was thinking that, she was inside cooking. So...
I was.
Yeah, and you were. So there you go. They're knowledge acquiring senses. So I understood what was happening on the other side of a wall, which I couldn't see through, because of the aroma, by smelling, by sense. So these knowledge acquiring senses, they really help us to navigate, and we take it for granted, the nostrils. Usually we only really are present when there's a good smell or a horrible smell. Very often we have to tolerate horrible smells. Anyone out there, what I'm talking about? Horrible smells sometimes, especially living in a city, when it's hot and people put their trash out and it just sits there and, funky. And, some places the sewers are not really so functional. And sometimes you just, on a hot day, you sweat and, it's like, woo! or people around us can be like that. Not her, of course, but like that. So the nose, we often just take it for granted unless there's something specifically titillating or repulsive kind of thing. But actually the nostrils are guiding us in so many ways. And or you can smell smoke, right? What is that? Something's on fire, and then that's danger, and that helps us. So these senses are just powerhouses of information gatherers, you know. Okay, sure, you can carry on. Text 49. The fifth gate, situated on the eastern side, was named Mukya, or the chief. Through this gate, accompanied by his friend named Rasagya and Vipina, he used to visit two places named Bahudana and Apana. Purport. The mouth is here described as the chief or the most important gate. The mouth is a very important entrance because one has two functions to conduct with the mouth. One function is eating, the other is speaking. Our eating is done with the friend Rasagya, the tongue, which can taste so many different types of foods. The tongue is also used for speaking, and it can speak of either material sense enjoyment or Vedic knowledge. Of course, here material sense enjoyment is stressed. Therefore, the word rasagya is used. Okay. So the tongue, as we know, Sharirara Vijaya Jodendriya Taikal Jiva Phale Vishaya Sagare. Jiva. Spelled Jihva, I believe. Jiva is the tongue, and it is the most, how's it described? The most
ferocious?
Yeah, ferocious of all the senses, because it has two functions. It is a knowledge acquiring sense in that it eats and tastes and takes in food, and it is a
speaking.
Yeah, it's a Gyanendriya, a knowledge acquiring, and a Karmendriya, which means it's an activity sense as well, like the legs and the arms and the anus and genital. It is used to speak, and that's how we're communicating with you right now. Isn't it amazing, the function of the tongue? And of course, Prabhupada's referring to it as a gate, or the Shastra is referring to it as a gate. Usually you go through gates, but stuff also comes out of gates. And it says you have to have the help of the rasagya, the tongue, and the tongue has a palate which tastes so many different things. I mean, just reading this is like blowing my mind a little bit, because we take all these things for granted. I remember when COVID happened. She didn't have anything to say, so I'm just going to talk away.
You don't have to do it.
When COVID happened, and we lost our sense of taste.
I didn't.
She didn't, because you never really had it, did you? Never got it.
I never had COVID, not I never had a sense of taste.
Never had a sense of taste. Yeah. She's got a sense of taste. So, yeah, when we lose our sense of taste, it's like, what? Just like if you go out to eat, or someone cooks for you, or you're having a feast somewhere or something, for the program, and they forgot to put salt in it, and you're like, this is very bland, it's like no taste. The tongue wants to taste, but just imagine how many different varieties of taste there are. Of course, I think Shastra says something like 7, right? Salty, sweet, sour, pungent. Salty, sweet, sour, pungent. Yeah, I think there's 5 or 6. Spicy, yeah. I think that might fit into pungent.
No.
Anyway, if you remember them, because I can't remember off the top of my head, you can put them down in the ting.
All right. What verse are we up to?
I think 50.
All right, 50. Are you sure?
Pretty sure the tongue is used for speaking. Yeah, so that was 49.
The southern gate of the city was known as Prituhu.
Nope. Pitrihu.
Pitrihu. And through that gate, King Paranjan used to visit the city named Dakshina Panchala, accompanied by his friend Shrutadar, the purport. The right ear is used for karma kandya or fruitive activities. As long as one is attached to the enjoyment of material resources, he hears from the right ear and uses the 5 senses to elevate himself to the higher planetary systems like Pitri Loka. Consequently, the right ear is here described as the Pitrihu gate. The right ear is used for karma kandya or fruitive activities. What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Strange. I've always understood because, like, if you're Brahmin initiated and you have a Brahmin thread, you wrap your Brahmin thread around your right ear, like I just did there. And it's described that the right ear is where all the sacred rivers flow. So that's why it's considered a clean place. So when you go to the bathroom or you get into a dirty place, you wrap your Brahmin thread around that, and it's considered. And when the spiritual master recites the Gayatri mantra, he does it into the right ear. So why it's saying the karma kandya, I'm not sure.
But all is revealed in the next purport.
Oh, well, beautiful. Shall we go on then?
Alright.
Oh.
But it's a bit long, but alright.
Well, then maybe we'll leave it as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we'll pick it up in the next one, alright?
We'll pick it up in the next session. Ooh, you're all like, what? And we're like, yeah. Okay, so we'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.